Okay, today we're going to take a look at my favorite new farm gun, which could easily be carried right on over into my EDC and who knows what next. The gun in front of you there is a nice gun built by Enthusiast. They call it the ASF Army pistol. ASF stands for Armed Services Family. So when you look at 1911 sold by Enthusiast, they have several 1911s, probably 24 different ones, and most of them have some kind of a printout or a name on the slide. This one is slick on both sides of the slide. It's the only one that I've seen so far that has that. But when you look on their advertisement, or if you're at a sporting goods, sporting house, sporting arms place, looking at their pistols on the internet, just look for ASF, Alpha Sierra Foxtrot. Look for ASF and you'll get the pistol that's right in front of you here. So let's go ahead and break this out of the leather. Notice a nice 1791 leather right there. They sent me that holster free just to enjoy and do a little testing, and that is definitely my favorite holster. I will not ever wear another. That thing is tough. I love it. So there's my 1791 plug. Love it. No shame in that right there. That's a great product, great American-made holster. So what we're going to look at today is the last item on the list that I'm going to do for this pistol. I have changed the springs in it. The springs from this company, Enthusiast, they really go overboard on their springs. I call it oversprung. And I've taken care of that, got with the Wolf Corporation. I got a reduced recoil spring, put in a 14-pound variable rate, and it makes it feel like a compound bow. When you cock a compound bow, it's real tough at the start, and then it gets softer and softer as you go. So that way when you get to the rear, you can hold it steady and let go of it clean and load your round in there. It just makes it a lot easier to cycle and cock and work with. Variable rate recoil spring, 14-pound. We shoot only light loads here on the farm, and we only shoot the full metal jacket type of a bullet, but we use the round nose. So there's the rounds that we use right there. Those are my hand loads, mixed brass. And just for your information, if you're a reloader and you want reliability out of that gun, you want to load those to 1.260. That's your overall length. Get into what I'm going to work on today, and that is the last item is the front sight. Everyone likes to make fun of these sights and say, well, those are not target sights. Well, no, this is a combat gun that was designed in 1911. This particular one is a copy of the Remington Rand from 1943 copy, but it does have the very small, very short rear sight, and the front sight is literally just a little half moon. So we want to just leave this alone. I don't want to drift it, move it, or replace it. We want to leave the front one alone, but we want to be able to pick that up in the late evening when I'm out shooting stuff on the farm. It is hard to see that front sight. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move this ammo out of the picture. I bought some Testors paint. This is Testors gold metal paint, gold metallic paint, and I'm going to use that to pick up any light that might be out there, just to kind of highlight that front sight. I didn't have a paintbrush, but I did find a cell phone port cleaning kit that I had downstairs. I'm going to throw this away. I'm not going to wash a paintbrush over one drop of paint anyway. Now to do this, we're going to go ahead and clear the gun, make sure it's clear, lock it to the rear, pull that. I'm going to go ahead and pull that slide off so I can just work with the slide only. I think that's going to work pretty good. Okay, this product is what we're going to use. This is Birchwood Casey's gun scrubber. It is a very strong stripper. I mean, it really takes it down to, I'm going to say, bare metal. It doesn't take the parkerizing off, but it takes everything else off. Any finger prints, any oils from your hand, it's going to take it off. So I've already sprayed that for the sake of time. So it's good and clean. We'll go ahead and zoom this in and let y'all see what I'm going to do. We're going to paint just that front sight and get it where it really looks nice. I'll be able to pick that up a little bit better. Let's go ahead and put this right in the middle. Oh yeah, now we're getting the front sight in this picture. And let's see here. Front sight, man. Front sight press. That's what all the trainers tell you. They always say that. I don't know if it's police thing, Navy SEAL. I'm not sure who came up with that. But that's a very good saying. When you're trying to make a detailed shot, you're really trying to make a good shot, it's always about front sight press. I'm still not happy with that. I can get that painted. This will be tedious, but it's needful. That will really help out with this being able to find that front sight, man. When you're out in the evening time, I shot some last night, and I was shooting an old electrical box. It's one that I've shot up a bunch. It looks like Swiss cheese now. I've shot that thing, but I was trying to test this gun to see how accurate it's going to be. See if I really, really love it as much as I think I already do. And I was trying to see that front sight, and I was having trouble with it. So here's our paint. We're going to use this gold paint right here, gold metallic tester's paint. If I can do this without making a mess. Okay, that does not look too bad. Let's look at the front side. Boy, it came out pretty decent. Not bad at all. Put a little bit on the front there. I guess it could use it just for looks. This is not for me to pick up, but it's just for cosmetics, so that when someone glances at it, they'll say, you got a gold sight. Man, that came out pretty good. Now, I'm going to let that sit for about 2 weeks before I touch the gun. Make sure that it dries. Put it on top of the wood stove. Run it up good and hot. I think about 2 weeks ought to do that on top of the wood stove. No, that might be a little bit extreme. We'll just, we'll drop that down to 1 week. I think that should be okay. Alright, I hope you picked up on the humor on that. We're probably not going to go near that long, and probably not a good idea to use the wood stove on this application. Either, but you can see that that's a pretty good looking sight. I'm looking on my camera. I've got one little spot on the front I still need to touch up. Let's do that real quick while it's still viable. I didn't put the painter's tape like I dreamed of doing. Right here on this front edge, it's got a little spot that didn't pick up. Alright, I got him, and then right here on this front, this is almost like a second coat here. Alright, now let's look one more time underneath our vision scope, the camera. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. That's not a bad looking front sight, man. Not bad at all. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But you know what? I don't normally look at that quite that close. I usually got that thing out at arm's length. Let's go ahead and turn it this way. We'll turn it that way and see what it looks like from the back side. And I will prop this up. We'll use the gun itself and prop up this rear slide so we can look at that and see what that looks like. Man, that's not bad. Not perfect. Not perfect, but not bad. And I think that's the main part of that you see is actually not the front ramp That's not what you're seeing in your sight picture. Not that very small edge where it goes down and staked into the gun. I don't worry about the goal there. I'm wanting to pick up that tip, the very tip top of the mountain. If you look at that as a curved mountain, that very tip top of it is where I'm going to use a 6 o'clock Navy hold, and that needs to be flush with the rear sights exact. And then push that whole picture right up onto the edge, whether it be a playing card or a soda can that need to be right in the middle, or if I'm shooting at a small black bullseye, very small black bullseye, I would push that up till it touches the bottom edge, and that'll put that bullet right in place. Okay, I decided to do a little touch-up because when I went to show this front sight to my wife, I laid it over on its side and noticed that it had on both sides of it a little black area that didn't receive any gold. So I put a very thin coat of the gold in with a real fine paintbrush, and when I filled in just the flat of the sight, it went ahead and wicked down to the slide, and this slide was very clean from using the Birchwood Casey gun scrubber, and I feel like it's probably a better overall fit and take care of the gold paint a little bit better by it filling in that crack. It did it on both sides, so by putting the paint on the top, it just did not take care of the sides. I won't be looking at them per se when you're shooting, but it does give it a little bit better cosmetic look overall when you pull the gun out and you're having the conversation about the gun. So I'm happy with that overall, and I'll let you know what the shooting results are sometime this week.